After a year's absence, I'm back in Afghanistan. I've joined the men of Delta Company 5 Scots during their 6-month tour in Helmand Province. They're fighting one of the world's most determined insurgent armies. I've only been on the ground just 48 hours.
Oh, that's close. That's really close.
And we've already met with heavy resistance and have been ambushed several times.
Get down, get down, get down.
But this is just routine for the soldiers fighting on Britain's front line.
RPG down.
This is the Green Zone, where most of the fighting in Helmand Province takes place.
Oops. It's 8:25 in the morning. We've been contacted 3 times so far. This will be the 4th.
They've started getting more aggressive, as you can hear. And they're heading our way, apparently.
As the fighting intensifies, 2 Scots with their Mastiffs are called in to provide extra fire support.
Whoa.
The men of 2 Scots have spotted a Taliban position. They immediately sight the enemy with one of their Javelin missiles. It has to be on target, as we're positioned between them and the Taliban.
It may sound so I start laughing. I can assure you it's only from nerves.
It's a direct hit. But it's only taken out one of several positions, and the enemy continue to fight. An Apache has been tasked to our area. The threat of its 30 cal machine gun and Hellfire missiles halt the Taliban attack.
The Taliban ICOM chatter was, let's hide our weapons till the fly goes away, because they know they can't win against that.
The Taliban are well aware of how long the Apache can stay with us due to its fuel reserves, and will resume the attack as soon as it's gone. We find the nearest compound to regroup and take on some water. With temperatures soaring into the mid-40s, it's a relief to find some shade. Because of the fear of heat exhaustion on both sides, there is a sort of unofficial truce not to fight during the hottest hours of the day. But just a couple of hours later, sentries have spotted movement. It seems the Taliban have broken the truce and are preparing to attack.
Tom, give me a description of the Taliban you've seen. Roger.
Tom, what's happening on the ICOM?
Delta Company have picked up Taliban radio chatter.
We've heard from the ICOM that we've drawn more enemy than we imagined. They've actually surrounded us in 180. They've also sent a special Taliban commander down to organise a battle against us. So because we've heard over the ICOM, there are so many of them, everyone's feeling a little bit tense at the moment, including myself.
Charlie 1, a bit of ICOM chatter from a Taliban commander to a bloke carrying a PKM. If he sees us, then he has a freedom to open fire. 2-0 Alpha, acknowledge over.
Major Nick Calder has a dilemma. The compound is compromised on 3 sides, but there's no guarantee that the Taliban are not lying in wait to the south of us. The base at Musa Qala, DC, is 4 kilometres away, and with no air cover, the longer we wait, the greater the chance of being overrun.
0 Alpha, a bit of a change of plan due to the ICOM channel and things like that. We're going to move the company down south. The order of march will be 3-0, followed by 2-0, followed by 1-0.
Let's go.
We've got to get out fast. Nick decides to head south into the green zone, using the maze as cover. After 15 nerve-wracking minutes, the airwaves are suddenly busy with ICOM chatter. The Taliban realise we've slipped their net.
We've outfoxed them. What we've done is, because of the monumental force and the massive ambush like we walked into yesterday afternoon, we've bugged out around them and they're pissed off. So they just said, anybody you see, shoot.
I'm with Delta Company 5 Scots, deep in the heart of the green zone, as they fight the Taliban.
It's 5:45. We're going for like nearly an hour, 45 minutes, and I'm absolutely shattered already.
We've had 3 days of non-stop fighting and have zigzagged 19 miles through enemy territory. But now the atmospherics have changed. We're seeing locals, and more importantly children, and that means only one thing.
Ask them, is there any Taliban in this area?
طالبان خو دې ولې دلې په علاقه کې منطقه چې تاسو را تیرسته بیان نه دی راغلی مخکې چې تاسو نو سره راغلی د لیته و
No, tell me we appreciate that. Tell me we appreciate the information.
هغه ته ضرورت نشته ډیره مننه وایي
And that's what Afghanistan needs, is also people like him to give us the information.
او که تاسو نه یاست نو دوی راشي طالبان راشي دلته طالبان چې راشي نو برا موږ خطر د بمبارد را سره خطر د مشکل کې کنه سره نو ډیر خطر کې کم وخت چې موږ تر ورسېږي موږ د خطرې څخه ووسو
Cool. Tell them, Manana.
With no sign of the Taliban, it's decided we should return to the base at Musa Qala. With temperatures rising into the mid-40s and some of their packs weighing as much as 90 pounds, heat exhaustion is just another enemy to contend with.
Got my own shower going, it's just an internal one.
It's bloody hot.
You can say that again. I can't understand what the local man is saying to us, but I think he's probably saying, why are you going out, why it's so hot? I have to say, I'm inclined to agree with him.
It's taken us 7 hours to get back, and we're all shattered.
Well, it's good to be back home. The morale of the guys just been incredible all the way through, and their professionalism just outstanding.
Tired or not, the troops must first clean their weapons, as the base is vulnerable to attack 24 hours a day. For 4 days, we've eaten nothing but cold army rations, so we're thankful to see the mess hall has stayed open and laid on the rare treat of fresh meat. Assuming, of course, we can all stay awake long enough to eat it.
Enjoy that, eh?
Yeah. Can we go again, please?
Don't be so enthusiastic.
About the same sort of time next year.
After the operation, Delta Company are given a brief respite. While they relax on base, just over the wire, the bustling town of Musa Qala goes about its everyday business. Eight months ago, the town was in the hands of the Taliban. Today, a tentative peace exists between the locals here and the soldiers.
We're just basically washing everything that got dirty on the last operation. You see the colour of the water. That's the second wash. Where's your hot point automatic when you need one?
The operation is considered a success as Delta Company sustain no casualties and they have 2 confirmed enemy kills. After every operation, there is always a debrief.
The point man engaged, killed 2 of them and wounded 1. We found 3 AK-47s and ICOM scanner. So the hope is that we've killed some sort of commander, probably low-level commander.
And for Nick, it's been a success in more ways than one.
It is the first time that we've managed to shoot them before they've shot us. And for the lads to come across 2 Taliban bodies is a good thing. It makes them realise that they're, having an effect on the enemy, and they're getting a bit of their aim back on the Taliban, which is good news.
Oh yeah.
I take the opportunity to talk to the lads. I want to know how they feel about taking a man's life.
How do you feel about killing a guy?
I don't feel guilty because at the end of the day, there was only 3 of us, myself, Loom and Wilson. He shot us first, fired an RPG at us, it missed us. It just so happened it was me that saw him, and I killed him. Basically, he was firing at us, so...
The fact is, that's your job, son. That is your job.
It is my job. I mean, I've been in the army 8 months. I'm the youngest guy in the company. I've done something in 8 months that guys in the army haven't even done in 8 years. It's just unfortunate. It was me that was in that situation.
You're 18 years old. Hell of a responsibility to take a man's life.
It is. As I say, I don't feel guilty for it. I wouldn't say I feel sorry for myself. Well, I feel sorry it was me that was in that situation. But if it had been any of the other boys, they'd all have done the same. And it was him or us, basically. I mean, it's just they had another RPG.
With the relaxed atmosphere in camp, it's easy to forget that these young men are trained to kill and risk their own lives every day. One of the few highlights of being away is getting mail from home. However, mail is not a priority, so when it does arrive, there's always quite a backlog.
Just puts a smile on your face once you get the mail, eh? Smoked sausages, eh? Wee smoked sausage, couple of packets of super noodles. A wee jar of jam. Sweeties. I'll have a wee munch of the night.
It's good to see fucking people back home are fucking thinking about them.
Toothpaste.
That was good for the boys' morale, mate.
keeps them fucking happy.
It's Scotch Sprite.
I never get any, so it doesn't really bother me. Do you know what I mean? Apart from 2 boxes of broken biscuits.
This is the Sergeant Major's box of broken biscuit assortment, which he's very, very pleased with. Which is, funnily enough, a box of broken biscuits, rather bizarrely. I'm sure he'll enjoy them.
It's from my wife. Basically just a wee update here. That's my son, that's my dad. We went to the zoo. She's just saying how the wee man's growing up and stuff like that. She's found a freckle on his nose. And she wants to learn to drive. God help us.
Human beings are incredible things. They adapt very well to their environment, and these guys have adapted superbly. And in our own little way, as a camera crew team and myself, we've adapted to our new surroundings, and it's amazing the little things that bring you smiles. So, you know, there are some nice ladies from the Institute or from the Royal Legion who've sent out packets of biscuits, and I got a coconut biscuit today, and I can't tell you, it put a big smile on my big face. Okay, I'll speak to you soon. Thanks.
Today, Delta Company receives orders for the next operation. But there's a problem.
What's happening, Goody?
Basically, at the moment, we've had an outbreak of D&V, diarrhea and vomiting within the company. Not just within our company, but within Mastiffs as well. They believe it's a viral bug, so therefore we're having to delay the operation by 24 hours.
In terms of your higher-ranking commissioned officers, how many people have you got now?
2. OC and 2 IC who's in.
So the officer in command's down?
Yes.
And the 2 IC, did you say?
2 IC at the moment.
I would just like to point out that both Sergeant Majors are sitting here, and where are both OCs at the moment?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. My career is probably over, however we can live with that another day. And so is yours, Toby.
To contain the virus, the medics move the infected men into quarantine.
So this is it then, Andy?
Yeah, it's the D&V tent, the isolation area for, obviously, the guys that have the diarrhoea and vomiting. As you can see, the actual compound itself and that in it is obviously, it's been isolated off into the corners. Okay, so the idea is to stop the risk of spreading. Guys walking over there, using the facilities there, and then spreading the risk of, or running the risk of people coming infected itself.
But this is no different from what happened to people in the plague. You put them, you isolate them. Yeah?
Exactly, you isolate them, get them out of the way, keep them to themselves and that. So it gives a chance to the guys who aren't ill to not become ill.
One thing I've noticed when I've been around the camp, I can't say of myself, but a lot of these guys are very, very thin, aren't they?
Very, very thin, yeah.
They're too thin, most of them.
Yeah, most of them are well underweight to what they should be and things. I mean, I've lost 3.5 stone since I've been here.
Right.
And, you know, and there's other guys in the same.
So not looking too good then, Andy?
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 not being very good, I'd say it was a close to 9.
9?
Yeah, not very good.
Hello, how are you feeling, sir?
I'm feeling pretty shit, actually.
Yeah, you're not looking too great, if I might be saying.
It's a pretty
unpleasant thing.
Night, yeah, really cold and shivers and things like that. But hopefully a couple of days we'll be back online again.
You 5 Scots in?
No, 2 Scots.
2 Scots, alright. But a lot of people are going down with this at the moment. Just put that under your tongue till it beats.
The medical team are working flat out when they get more bad news.
Okay, we've got a slight temperature.
Let's get those out and put them outside the RAP, okay, so we're ready to receive them, okay?
Dr. Cooper has been told that some local nationals have been injured in crossfire and are asking for help. This is the only place for miles around where they can get emergency treatment.
6 casualties we've just been told presented themselves at the front of the fob. That's
right.
All the information we've got. So what we're going to do is just to see what they've got. Obviously today's been more complicated because we've got about 20 people down with
D&V.
Viral D&V, so it's all a bit busy at the moment.
That's IDF. Very rare they'll attack the DC while we've been here, particularly at this time. It's only 10:30 and we've just had an IDF. It was a rocket, not an RPG, an actual Chinese or Russian-made rocket, which is a long-range rocket, just zipped over us.
Thankfully, the rocket missed its target and landed in the Wadi. just as well as the medics have enough to do with the 6 locals injured in crossfire who are desperately in need of emergency treatment.
Head first, please.
A number of children have come in. An elder man, his guts are out, so he's got about a good 2 handfuls of guts on his stomach.
So on the wheels. Right, guys, this guy's going straight into the RAP to T1. Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, he's got a small penetration route to the left, upper thigh. Yeah.
Man, head first.
Fragmentation to the lower right arm.
4 to 5 year old, she's got shrapnel in her back and they're trying to pull it open and she's obviously in some severe amount of pain.
Right, guys, I know they're women, okay, but in order for us to assess it quickly, we need to get the clothes cut off them, okay? Otherwise, we're not going to know what's going on.
This lady's pretty badly hurt down here, but because of their religion, they're covering her while the guys work on her, so no men can see her. Young, and it's very difficult for me to understand as a Westerner, being brought up the way I was, to understand the importance of that.
I'll come down.
Right, guys, listen in. Right, you two are dealing with this casualty for me. Roger, sir. Tim and Andy dealing with this casualty, okay?
You know, within a matter of seconds, everyone was concerned about the D&V. The next minute, reality of war's here.
Oh, yeah, I'm just going to ask chest seal, is that right? Yeah, yeah.
There's a young girl, she's got to be 7, 8-ish. She's got shrapnel to her legs and deeper shrapnel to her abdomen on the right-hand side. She's bleeding internally by the looks of it, and so they're going to try and suck some of the blood out of the inside of her.
The baby girl is also injured by shrapnel and is in a serious condition. It's vital to stabilise these casualties so they can be evacuated to the hospital at Camp Bastion, where there are better medical facilities.
You've got a lot of casualties coming in. Can you explain to us what the worst one probably is the older gentleman with the stomach?
The most serious is a little 6-year-old who's
a girl.
A girl who's actually got a very serious chest injury. In order to help her breathing, we've had to put a chest drain in, and we've also decompressed her chest, which, if there's air on the outside of the lung and it squashes your lung, then the lung can't open up.
Basically, you suffocate.
Yeah. In essence, yeah. So what we've done, we've put a needle in there to allow that air to escape so the lung can re-inflate.
Signs?
The one thing that I've learned since being here is thinking with kids is that they hang on, and then all of a sudden they go very, very quickly.
Oh, she's got a cut in the back of her head.
You know, when you see children particularly, it really brings it home, you know, the damage that the weapons that are being used in this modern war can do to people.
Is that Major? Wheels are up, okay, so we're going to start moving them up to the HLS. I'm quite happy for you to...
Anyway, I have to say, people here, you know, on the ground, the medics, all the staff here, and everyone's mucked in as well, done a fantastic job.
The Medical Emergency Response Team, MERT for short, arrives to collect the casualties. Within 15 minutes, they will be at the new fully equipped hospital at Camp Bastion. As the Chinook leaves, I can't help but remind myself that the overwhelming number of casualties in this conflict by far are civilian. We were later informed that the casualties in this instance all made a full recovery. For the last 24 hours, the camp at Musa Qala has been in the grip of a virus that is causing diarrhea and vomiting. This morning, I too have woken up, having spent the night doing what has jokingly become known as the Musa Qala Shuffle.
About 2:30 this morning, I got hit with a dreaded lurgy. So I was back and forth across the ground between here and the thunder boxes about 8 times. In fact, I got halfway across, turned around and had to go back again. So I'm going to see the doctor and just see what he can give me. No, I was up with the shits all night. Has anybody else gone down with it?
We've got about 30 people gone down with it over the past 2 days.
30?
Yeah, so it's quite everyone seems to be getting it. Luckily we're okay so far.
Yeah, because you just built up your immune system. You don't get anything, do you?
35. Yeah, heart rate 75, sats 96.
Put one of them in your drinks. I've already got some, but I'll just take...
I'm given rehydration sachets and told to go to bed.
It's 20:11 now. I'm just going to make my way back to my bunk and fall asleep because I was up all night. I don't know if I attempt to make a stool movement or not.
The toilets, called thunder boxes, are nothing more than a hole to sit on and a halved oil drum to collect the waste. Normally they're emptied once a day, but during an outbreak of DNV, this unenviable job has to be done at least twice. For an extra $5 a day, these men volunteer to carry out the job nobody wants to do. The smell of burning excrement covers the camp and sticks in the back of the throat. But before I go to bed, I just have one more trip to make. The next day, myself and Delta Company seem to be over the worst, although the illness still lingers around the camp. With the men declared fighting fit, the operation is back on, although some are clearly fitter than others.
Okay, now the sanity check for the plan itself, ready to move, 1400 hours, all kit squared and ready to go.
In the next operation, Delta Company are targeting the stronghold of Small Qats. It sits in the shadow of Mount Doom and is home to some high-ranking Taliban commanders.
With regards to enemy forces, the only other int that we've got is Simon. Some pretty exciting int, I think, if you could just brief us on that.
The NDS, which is the Afghan, kind of special police, told us today that there's been some enemy seen in Tamyan Kelly and Tauga Kelly, which is the area we'll be moving through, wearing sandals. So if you keep your eyes open for anyone wearing sandals, they're a threat, a direct threat.
The operation will last just 24 hours. In order to get within striking distance of their objective quickly, Delta Company are being transported by the men of 2 Scots.
Right, come off the hour, come off the men of 5 and 2 Scots. We're just about to leave the DC now. We're going to head out into the Wadi and turn east, and then we're going to spend about 5 to 6 hours out in the desert. But everyone's really aware that this is a very, very difficult and dangerous operation, and you can just tell amongst the guys that, you know, a bit of apprehension there, but also a lot of steel as well. So we'll see what happens.
So I went to church last Sunday for the first time since I've been in Afghanistan. I'm not proud of that, however. I got a coin for going. Obviously, keep it with me, you know what I mean? Bit of good luck. Not that we need it, because we'll be fine.
The 60 men of Delta Company mount the 15 heavily armoured Mastiffs each one equipped with a 50 cal or grenade machine gun and the Javelin weapon system.
What are the chances of getting a contact in these vehicles now?
Probably quite high actually. But if it is anything, these boys will deal with it because we've got GMG, 50 cal. You know, you're going to have to be
and Javelin if you need it.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to be suicidal and mess with these boys.
Officer in command, Major Nick Calder, has come up with a plan to outguess the enemy. Normally, Delta Company attacks the Taliban by moving north, but this time they're coming from the east towards Qats and Small Qats. To do this, we're travelling to Mount Doom, where we'll lay up overnight. Then at first light, the Mastiffs will drop us on the other side of the mountain to take the Taliban by surprise.
I trust Nick, the OC. He's so far when we've been in operations, he's got us out of very sticky situations, and he's the man that knows what he's doing. So his men have trust in him, and so do we.
I've got a good gut feeling this one, so fingers crossed. Hopefully it all works out and we fill a few Taliban body bags this time.
Each Mastiff weighs 23 tons and is designed to protect troops from rocket-propelled grenades and mine strikes. It's considered to be the safest form of transport for soldiers on the ground.
One of these vehicles goes over a pressure plate, then the vehicle goes up. So we're continually stopping for the guys to get out and sweep these vulnerable points. Very dangerous job, and many of these vehicles are driven and operated by two Scots have had mine strikes and observed while they've been out here. So everyone looks rather relaxed, but I can assure you there is an element of underlying fear emitted from this Mastiff. Generally the fumes are going that way.
It's only 7 kilometers to Mount Doom, but it takes us 4 hours. The success of the operation rests on us being able to lay up undetected overnight before our surprise dawn attack. After 4 hours sleep, we reach our drop-off point on schedule.
Right, 20 Alpha, 0 Alpha, wrong 10 Alpha, 0 Alpha. As soon as you can, let's push into the compounds just to the left of the 30 call signs, i.e. to the south. Over.
We've just had information to say that packs of men are leaving Qats. Qats is the town to the north, the Taliban stronghold. They know that we're here and they're heading in our direction. So we have put the stick into the hornet's nest and the hornets are on their way.
Right, order of march, guys.
The Mastiffs are too heavy to work in the green zone, so they stick to the high ground to provide fire support and possible medical extraction. As we part company, I can't help feeling a little vulnerable.
Just coming into the green zone now. It's very quiet. A lot of people have bugged out of their compounds. The place is deserted. Ghost town. We know the enemy have ID'd us, they've seen us. So it's just a matter of time now.
Delta Company spreads out into its 3 platoons.
Just to give you some geography of where we actually are positioned at the moment. Yossi's there. The rest of his group, which is called Attack, which is behind us. 1-0 is up the high ground to our right. And get down.
To fill the boredom, the lads have organised a sweepstake for the time of the first contact.
7:45, bang on. I win the lottery, by the way. 7:45. I won it. Not that I'm very happy about that right now.
That's our flank call sign that has identified enemy pre-seen as they came forward. A little bit of a contact, and they're now engaging it out to the east.
RPG.
Widow 7-1, Widow 5-9 check.
So you can hear the fire coming in now, going over our heads. We're getting support from 1-0 just up there. We're
Right, so 150 in that direction, yeah?
That direction there. Our platoon's going to push forward and assault, hopefully killing the fuckers.
Right.
As we push forward, Nick's been informed that one of his men from 1-0 has been shot.
1-0 Bravo, 1-1 Charlie. Be aware the 2 Mastiffs just arrived at my location looking for a casualty. I'll send a steer up towards you now. Over. Here's wee Jono. Look. Wee Jono shot in the foot. Right in the toe, man. Right in the fucking toe, man.
Well, see how he is. He's got his gunshot wound to his toe. Let's see what the score is with him. He's been administered morphine. He's being patched up, but he should be all right.
Not going to be dancing for a while, is he?
Jono is evacuated to Musa Qala for medical treatment.
1-0 Bravo, 1-1 Charlie. That's the Mastiffs on route to you now. Out.
The Taliban have been spotted in compound 109.
Go, go. Coops, you cover now. Expose yourself, get behind that wall.
Gone fucking red, the enemy's in there, grenades at the fucking ready, and let's do it. And if you hear any fucking women's voices or kids' voices, then red fucking stops. Happy?
Since dawn, Delta Company have been searching for the Taliban. They now believe they've located them here in compound 109.
We've secured compound 109. Guys, get yourself sorted out. One section, two sections are launching. Let's get.
As 109 is secured, the Taliban hop to the next compound.
Right, they go.
Major Nick Calder sends out a forward party to track them down.
We get the jet to have a look at the compounds 8-8 to 7-9.
He then calls in air support.
We are a dismounted infantry company, supported by an armoured call sign. We have 81mm mortars and 105 light guns in support.
While a soldier captures the raid on his head cam.
Yeah, should you happy? What they reckon is the guy that's firing at us, they're pushing him back, so he's basically having to fight his way back. Anything else fucking opens up, you brass it to fuck! Got me?
Delta Company aren't working alone. Fighting alongside them are the ANP, the Afghan National Police. They believe the Taliban are now in this compound.
Obviously destroy it with a grenade as a lever.
Grenade 109. Let's get in there, search it. Fucking thorough search.
The call sign that just went in has found a fighting age male in one of the compounds. Now the ANP are 100% certain that this is a Taliban fighter, so they're going to arrest him.
Oh, he's dropped his weapon.
Yeah, he's dropped his weapon and done a runner trying to play the civvy part, so ANP aren't buying any of it. So they're going to lift him.
Send over. 0 Alpha, roger. Got one prisoner as well from one of the compounds up there. 0 Alpha, what up? Up.
ما ولي
نادي ولي خدا
keep him in here.
Yeah, okay.
Go on. Tell that cunt to keep his mouth shut. He'll speak when the AMP speak to him. Okay? Get him on his knees and get him in there out of the way.
This guy's pretty sure these guys are sure this guy's Taliban, yeah?
Yeah, you see his mark on his shoulder.
The police take the prisoner back for interrogation. Later, forensics discover heavy amounts of gunpowder on his skin and clothes. He's now awaiting trial. After turning south and zigzagging for 4.5 hours, we rendezvous with the Mastiffs. But Delta Company have to stay on guard as we are still vulnerable from attack.
Kemp Chatter is enemy forces preparing to attack. So let's hope we get out before they do. Yeah.
Yeah, 2, 3, go! Short and sharp, it was almost like a raid into the back area, straight in, straight out, job done.
My illness, the heat, and the pace of operations are beginning to take their toll. In a few days' time, I'll be out on the ground again, but this time with the Royal Irish Regiment. They'll take me on patrol through the town of Musa Qala, where we become the target of a suicide bomber.
So you're coming in from that direction?
Yeah, it's come down onto the western side of the wadi.
Then we will head south and experience the full force of 21st century warfare, both from the ground and from the air. But before then, I need to get some rest.
Well, very glad to be home, but my God, that was a trip and a half. Thanks, mate. Cheers. Hey, mate.
Ross, how are you?
Fucked.